When we see a behavior or hear a behavior, for that matter, we kind of have our own personal view about it. And we tend to get caught up in the behavior itself. So what I'd like you to start to think about and practice, this is actually a lot of fun to just go out there and practice it when you're doing your grocery shopping or whatever it is, out playing a round of golf. When you see an action happening and it kind of hits you like, why'd that person do that? Or does that person realize how that just looked? Or whatever it might, you might see or hear. When you see that, I want you to catch yourself seeing and hearing the behavior and immediately start to think, what's the skill or lack of skill that lies behind that action? See where I'm going here? That's where we need to go in our classrooms with our kids, is not just respond to the behavior and see it as a behavior, as a problem, but start to look past it and say, what do they want? How are they getting it? And then ask yourself, who taught them how to get it that way? Like attention or avoidance, control, who taught you that method? So if we see a behavior, we should automatically start to say, if the behavior is something that's bothering us or in the way, creates a refusal, a disruption, whatever it might be, we should automatically go to, what's the skill deficit? Is it a cognitive communication, something that I'm teaching, something that's happening right now in front of that child that they don't have another kind of way of addressing it or responding to it? Maybe it's nothing at all. It's just the way someone's coming down the hall or the way someone's, standing in the grocery store blocking the door on the way out. I always love that when people finish paying for their stuff and then they leave the aisle and they go to the door to exit and they stop to check their receipt, not realizing that there's, 5 people behind them that want to get out the door. And our automatic thought there is, oh my gosh, what is wrong with this person? Get out of the way because you're blocking the door. But instead of seeing that behavior, I ask myself, what's the skill that's lacking? The skill that's lacking there is no one has ever consciously or purposely taught them that when you leave a place that's crowded, you don't stop in the middle of a hallway, you turn around, see if there's anyone behind you, and move over and get out of the way. See, if that's not explicitly taught, then we just make and assume that's a bad behavior. And even though it is a behavior that creates a disruption, the same thing happens with our kids. There has to be a teaching piece behind it. And how we get there and how we'll be able to kind of address the behavior differently is if we can change just viewing the behavior and start to view it as, where's the skill? And how do I get that skill into them?